What is going on today, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I just wanted to play a little bit of devil's advocate and give you guys 3 reasons why you should not come to local trucking, especially if you're regional or over the road. But because I've been seeing a lot of recent videos about, local versus regional versus over the road. And so it got me thinking, well, I've talked a lot about why you should, but I haven't talked about why you shouldn't, or valid reasons why you shouldn't come to local trucking. But so I'll start off with the first one, and this is a big one. Regardless of what type of local trucking you're going to do, or whatever you want to do, vast majority of the time, specifically because it is geographically, condensed as far as the area you're limited to, it is monotonous. It is the same thing over and over and over again. Doesn't matter if it's fuel hauling, doesn't matter if it's food delivery, doesn't matter if it's even oil field work, or especially construction. Generally speaking, with few exceptions, is going to be the same thing over and over and over again. As a reminder, I've spent, of the 4.5 plus years in trucking, I've spent pretty much 4.5 years minus 1 month in local trucking. And so I can say for a fact that vast majority of the time it is monotonous. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So if you're expecting your career to scratch that itch of adventure and not be the same thing over and over again, or at least similar enough, don't come to local trucking. You're better off regional or over the road, which even regional to a certain extent, you're kind of going to the same places. It's just not as frequently. So if that's a deal breaker for you, don't come to local trucking. Now, the second reason that you shouldn't come to local trucking is the physical aspect of it. Vast majority of the time, with little exception, obviously the LTL guys are an exception to this, but vast majority of the time, for most cases, for most jobs, you're going to be in and out of the truck pretty consistently. So if you've got a bad knee or some sort of physical ailment that would be really bothered by getting in and out of the truck, multiple, if not dozens of times per day or per night, don't come to local trucking. Or if that's not even the case and you simply just love driving and hate getting out of the truck and you're just kind of an introvert, that's another reason not to come to local trucking. Now, again, obviously LTL is kind of the exception from my understanding anyways to that, at least if you're doing like line haul, because you're spending most of your day night driving, trying to max out your miles for your 11 hours of driving time. But aside from that, and maybe a few other exceptions, really not going to be the case. You're really not going to max out your driving hours. It's super rare that I've done that, even in fuel hauling. I've gotten to 10 hours like a dozen or 2 times, but that's about it. Every other time I'm barely hitting 8 hours of driving time, let alone 10. So if that's a deal breaker for you, don't come to local trucking. And the last reason I think you should not come to local trucking is because it doesn't give you that excuse of being physically away anymore to take care of, all the things that you actually need to take care of at home. We've all seen those videos of the older guys saying, well, I should be going to the doctor, but I'm just not home. Or, well, I should be taking care of something at the house, need to get the roof replaced, but I'm just not home. Whatever it is, regardless if it's house maintenance, going to the doctor, going to the dentist, stuff with family, anything and everything in between, it does prevent you from using that excuse of, well, I'm just not home anymore. So you actually have that opportunity to get it done. Now, obviously you could still make excuses, just as you can with everything, even if you are local. Plenty of guys do it, whether it's, they're still local and they still refuse to go to the doctor, or refuse to go to the dentist to get that tooth looked at, deal with family problems. Doesn't matter. You can still make the excuse, but you are still physically back at home on a daily basis to be able to do things. Now, you still have the time for the most part. Now, obviously, if you're in that season where you're having to work 70 hours a week, mandatory 6 days, that sort of a thing, yeah, that's difficult to do, but that's not going to be the season forever. And if that is the job that you're in, then that's more of a choice and more of an unwillingness to talk to your boss about working too many hours, or you're just wanting that many hours to try and avoid whatever it is going on at home that you need to address. And there's plenty of that going around. I can guarantee that, because guys talk about that all the time. They say they would rather be at work, even if they're in local trucking, than, you know, deal with whatever it is that's going on at home that they should deal with. So those are the three big reasons that I would say, you know what, if that's not going to work for you, and any of those three things are a deal breaker for you, then yeah, certainly don't come to trucking. But if you guys disagree with me, as always, you can put it in the comment section down below, or if you want me to talk about any other specific topics in another video, I'd be happy to do that as well. Just put that in the comment section down below. Otherwise, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless.